Hi there, and welcome back to our live Fuel Arts Online webinar series devoted to the merge of the two ecosystems, art tech and venture capital. My name is Denis Belkovich. I'm the co-founder and general partner at Fuel Arts, and my co-host is Sonia Stubblebine, project manager at Fuel Arts. Hope our faces are well known to our dear viewers, listeners, and appreciators. So, as you know, starting from February 23, our webinars are focused on the diversity of the Tezos ecosystem. So these webinars introduce you to the managers, curators, founders, artists, and technical experts working to develop the number one blockchain for the arts, which is Tezos, if you still don't know. So, and at the same time, we're continuing working with the startups or the first batch of the Fuel Arts and Tezos Accelerator. So we're welcoming everyone to join us on April 27th, 9 a.m. New York or Miami time to watch this extensive and wonderful event. Um, so these are the startups, the top 10 we're accelerating now. And at the same time, we're still waiting for the two main reports of the art market. I mean, the art market from Art Basel and UBS, provided by Art Economics, and non-fungible yearly report. They are slightly delayed. So while you're waiting for those reports, you can still download our one. It is focused on investments in art tech and NFT startups in 2023. So please feel free to scan the QR code and enjoy the 80 plus something pages carefully created by our Big Fuel Arts team. So let me please remind you about the partners of the Fuel Arts and Tezos accelerator of this batch, which is currently being held. So Amado Global, the New York-based investment firm focused on public and private companies. Educate Me, a Ukrainian platform that gathers live sessions, lessons, contents, and assignments in a single place. Unstoppable Domains, our infrastructural partner of the batch, the Web3 domain provider, which gives people full ownership and control of their digital identity. Teachers Art Management, our PR partner, a team of producers and strategists managing international art projects and delivering PR services. A bunch of companies which help us from the Tezos side. First of all, Trilly Tech. We are thrilled to cooperate with Trilly Tech, so a company dedicated to developing and elevating new ideas and innovation built on the Tezos ecosystem. The tech partner of the batch, Nomadic Labs, one of the largest research and development centers within the Tezos ecosystem. Our tech partner from Germany, Radio Button, they are successfully developing the most ambitious and scalable projects. NAN is a fun, simple, and secure way to create a Tezos wallet. Do that and be happy and secure it. So our media partner, who has a close connection with our today's guest, will announce in a minute. But yeah, we're happy that we received partnership with Metaverse Post, our media partner, supplying the market with the hottest Web3 news. And the four rest companies are Blockchain Art, Bullperks, ArtPay, and Artcryption, are represented by the mentors of the Fuel Arts and Tezos Accelerator 2023. So let's concentrate on our today's discussion. It's always tricky to and exciting to speak about mass media. I've also contributed to several mass media editions as either guest editor or contributing editor, or the art market researcher. So it's my great pleasure to welcome the CEO and co-founder at Metaverse Post, Danil Myakin. So, hi, Danil.
Hi.
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. I mean, we know that before starting Metaverse Post, you were engaged in marketing and growth of several DeFi projects with a combined total value locked of over $50 million. And you've been a serial entrepreneur from a young age. So our first question to you is, when did you understand, or how did you feel that this is the right time to, let's say, set up not a DeFi startup but a mass media one? So how was the Metaverse Post launched?
Yeah, for sure. So actually building a media was my kind of a dream from the young age, I would say. The first media I started was a site called Unique Sports, which was writing about computer esports on the south of Russia. We did a couple of tournaments. We did local tournaments for WCG, which is like, tens of years before. And I was like 15, I think. But after this, I've done a bunch of different things, and as you said, I've been involved in a couple of DeFi projects, somewhere as a somewhere as being a real person, I would say. But through this journey, I met a good amount of partners, and I made some friends. And just at some point, the guys who I had worked with, they basically called me, and they've been like, "Yo, man, so what do you want to do? Like, let's do something together." And through these conversations, we figured out that they want to launch a media about metaverse and maybe about NFTs or something like that. And I wanted to be involved with the media business as well. So that was a perfect match. We worked with them. They have great experience in building media. They actually worked at Cointelegraph Global before starting the media with me as well. So we have a great team. We have great experience and expertise inside the team, and that was kind of a no-brainer for us to launch the media, I would say. And in terms of the kind of, is it the right time to launch or not the right time to launch? We've been late, honestly. Like, if we would start the Metaverse Post half a year before, we would have much stronger position in the NFT market. But you just do something and try that it's going to be successful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the story with us. I was also curious because I was going through the website of Metaverse Post, and I understand that you cover a really big range of topics. So you can cover AI, NFTs, like blockchain, Web3, like a bunch of different things. So how would you define, for someone who's not familiar to the Metaverse Post, what is the focus of the media actually?
Yeah, that's a really good question. First, let me start with NFTs. When we've been starting, NFTs have been a really hot topic, but there are already players, established players like NFT Now, maybe some other websites who've been primarily focused on NFTs. But as a guy who've been in the crypto market for a couple of years, I know that this, three-letter words, they come and go. Like there was ICOs, IDOs, and if you're gonna make websites just focused on a new shiny, hot thing, then we're gonna have the same fate as ICO drops or like ICO whatever websites have. They've been hot. They had tons of traffic at some point, but they died because the interest to the thing died. And that was our our understanding from the first days of building Mpost, that we are not going to be focused only on NFTs, that we are not going to be focused only on just coins, only on just fashion maybe. And that all goes to defining what is metaverse. Because metaverse is, everybody can understand a bit different thing by this word. For me, metaverse is where we spend time. If you spend time in the Instagram, that's kind of metaverse for some people because they spend there like 80% of their time. If people spend time in the Roblox or in the Sandbox or the Decentraland, that's Metaverse for them. For me, Metaverse is very linked and correlated with the crypto market, but mainly with the Web3 market, I would say, how we're going to transition from the Web2, where we just, interact in a certain way with the websites, to the Web3, where we can actually interact with the value and have some value exchange. And of course, AI is a hot topic. And I think AI is a huge part and a huge contribution part to the Metaverse, a huge building block. And crypto as a whole as well. Crypto is basically like an infrastructure level for the layer for the Metaverse. How the value is going to be exchanged in the Metaverse. I believe cryptocurrency and blockchain is going to be one of the most important infrastructure pieces in it. So that's how we roll. We write about the infrastructure of Metaverse. We write about fashion in the Metaverse. We write about NFTs. We write about a bit about the gaming, but that's not the main priority for us right now. So yeah, everything linked to the Metaverse, and I think that Metaverse is a really broad term, and we can basically include there pretty much everything we want.
I love how you said just in the beginning, it's like where the people live. And I loved how you said this like comparison with like Instagram, that it's like a sort of a metaverse as well. So you were coming to the description. I mean, apart from where people live, how would you describe the metaverse, if I may ask you? Just curious of your opinion.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, sorry if I was not clear. So what kind of description can you give to the metaverse? I mean, if we're talking not only about where people live, but, if you're going to explain the metaverse as a CEO of Metaverse Post, what is it to the people who are not familiar to the topic?
Yeah, Metaverse is everything you interact with, not in the physical realm, and how you interact with it. Like, is it movie? How you watch this movie? Is it at Netflix or you watch it in VR? So basically, all digital interaction for me is kind of part of the Metaverse.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah, great, Daniel, thank you. And only one small addition, in my opinion, the physical world could be also in some case considered to be a metaverse in relation to the real metaverse. So for the real metaverse and for the inhabitants of the metaverse, the real world is an alternative reality. So they might consider our real world a metaverse. So yeah, it's all linked, it's all chained, it's all combined, and probably it's all how it all should be developed. So
yeah, like there is a fun example of it. If you go to YouTube, you can find the guy who spends in the VR is like 80% of his time. He wakes up, he puts the headset on himself. He goes to like a shower. He has like a different headset. Then he sleeps in a headset. It's just crazy stuff. I bet for him, like just putting the headset off is just, oh, where am I?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point to admit that we can be in the metaverse even without being there. I mean, just interacting with, without having our headsets on. So just interacting with digital environment. Let's get back to the bunch, to your website, or better say to the bunch of your websites, because within Metaverse Post, you have created Metaverse Wiki, Web3 Wiki, and Crypto Wiki. I'm a big fan of academic approach. So I know from their big, like when the NFT artists and NFT art appeared. So I was asking my colleagues, so when the NFT museums or NFT biennials will appear, just to show the value of the term, to show the value of this of this particular movement. So by creating, in my opinion, wikis for Metaverse and Web3, you're adding additional value in terms of academic or scientific approach or informational approach. So could you please tell us more about these initiatives and their objectives?
Yeah, if I'm gonna be straight with you, we are first of all a media website, right? And the main source of traffic and the users for any media website is the search optimization, is basically Google. And the majority of articles you can find in the Web3 Wiki, Crypto Wiki, Metaverse Wiki is basically SEO optimized text to get as many users from the web as we can and educate them on what they're going to be reading on the website and give them a really easy tool to understand the news going forward. And we not only have the wikis on the website, we have the glossary, which is embedded in the website. And so if we use a specific term, you can just hover over it and find what does it mean. For example, like if you're new to crypto and you're reading something and it's like, oh, it's like a pump and dump, like a bear market, and you're like, oh, what? And like bears, it's crypto, guys. And you just hover on it and like, oh, bear market is the time of the market when everybody's struggling or something. So that's first of all, we're getting users out of it, and we're just checking the boxes. But we also try to add value, and especially in terms of the metaverse research, we have a couple of things yet to announce. But basically, it's very linked to the first question we discussed: what is the metaverse? And if you go to different websites trying to define it, for example, like Statista, you're gonna find the answers to like the metaverse market penetration, or you're gonna find like the most used metaverse tools. But it's hard to find what people understand by the metaverse, what people define, and that's one of the things we're going to be actively researching in the upcoming months to try to understand what is metaverse for us and what is the metaverse for other people. And we're also going to be talking about it in the Metaverse Wiki and on the website, of course.
Thank you, Daniel, for being honest in replying to our question. May I ask you a bit more? So, did it sound like an advice for the newcomers to your website to start with the glossary and to start with wikis to understand more, to take more value from the materials you provide?
I mean, it depends. It depends on the user, first of all. If we are talking about somebody who is native to the metaverse, who is native to crypto and all this lingo, then it just makes sense to follow our social media and to read the news and get the maximum and read what you're interested in, right? But on the other hand, if metaverse is something new to you, then definitely Metaverse Wiki is going to be a really handy tool for you to understand what's going on.
Of course, thank you. Also, we're curious about the audience. Like, how would you define the audience that is reading Metaverse Post? And also, do you kind of define in a certain groups, like different type of audience that the media has?
Yeah, of course. That's one of the first things any media company is going to do when they try to sell ads. They're going to understand, okay, what kind of readership we have, so what kind of clients we're going to approach. And our audience right now is mostly interested not in the Web3 or Metaverse actually, but in the AI. And if you're gonna go to similar web, for example, and if you have a pro subscription to go back a couple like 6 months or so, you're gonna notice that we have started to write about AI. Couple months before the ChatGPT hype started, we kind of felt that AI is getting traction, and as soon as the ChatGPT went live, our audience just doubled, and then it doubled again, and then I think it doubled again. So a majority of our audience is actually interested in the AI as a whole, and a lot of these people are actually just really new to AI. They're reading us to understand how to use ChatGPT, how to use different neural networks like Stable Diffusion, how to give them the real prompts, how to get good results. Because especially like if we talk about OpenAI or like Stable Diffusion or something, you have to pay, right? It's not free things right now. So you have a limited number of tries basically to achieve a result. and you need to know how to use it. And that's where we help a lot of the guys who is just getting started with different AI tools. And going further, the second the second biggest audience is I would say Web3, which includes NFTs, which includes some crypto, I would say, like, metaverse fashion things, these different sandboxes and stuff like that. And then we have cryptocurrency and metaverse, just fighting for the fourth and the third place. And in terms of the geographic of our audience, we are English first website, but we are translating our text to 50 different languages, thanks to AI. And actually, around 20% of our audience comes from the United States, and the rest is really diverse. We have 5% from Brazil. At the same time, we have 5% from India, 5% from Russia, around like 20% from different countries from Europe. So I would say we are the real worldwide media.
Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. You've slightly touched this topic, replying to our first question, but let's try to put it even in a more short and simple way. So how does Metaverse Post stand out among other crypto and Web3 media? Not only regarding its name.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, we have a really wide coverage of things we write about. So if you go to CoinDesk or Cointelegraph, the majority of things are kind of financial in nature. At the same time, we do write, about new things Meta is going to release, which affecting the VR users. For example, like Quest update, or the recent move to kind of change their way forward and abandon Metaverse a bit and focus on AI more. And what else? So I would say we are catered more towards the general audience, to a broader audience, to a broader retail audience, as opposed to giving people like alpha or like DGen stuff, or just trying to give them the cryptocurrency news mostly, and some different coins and tokens reviews. And also we have a lot of creative audience, like people who are interested in NFT or metaverse fashions, different artists. So I would say we are the diversest, if this word, website in Web3 and Metaverse. And we have a lot of things under the hood people don't notice going on that really sets apart the Metaverse Post from other media websites. So for example, we not only write about AI, we actively use it in different things. As I mentioned before, we use AI to translate our articles to 50 different languages. Recently, we launched a free Telegram bot that allows people to use ChatGPT, and we already have over 2,000 daily active users who daily interact with it, and like around 6K signups. We've been developing an internal tool for the last 2 to 3 months to allow our editors and writers to actively scrape or parse, or aggregate news from different websites, from like hundreds of them, and use neural networks to rewrite the articles, to expand them, and that's embedded in our CMS. That's a very easy pipeline. Instead of you going to copy your text and go to OpenAI, you have to write the prompt. You have to write a good prompt to do the right article. Then you need to take this article. You need to go to another neural network to rewrite again, to check the spelling, to really achieve the uniqueness of it. Then you need to use maybe some other prompts to expand the article. So what we've done, we took our time, around a couple months playing with AI first, just making sure that we know how to use it. Then we started to link it together, to link different tools, to link different neural networks to have really simple solution inside the CMS. So right now, when some of our writers notices in this AI editor pipeline an interesting news, they press one button. It's called Dream. They press it, and they have a new text. They have several headlines they can choose from. They have a couple of thumbnails we generate for them. They have generated suggested articles. They have memory points if we already written on this topic. We're going to pull it up, and we're going to include some of it in the body of article and after the article. And by doing so, we can really optimize our headcount. We can really give our writers and our employees the power to produce much more content they would produce on their own. So by the end of the day, the work of the media is going to be heavily connected not only with the writing of the news, but with the curating of this news. That's kind of my personal opinion. So we have this tool I talked about almost ready, and April is going to be a very big month for us, where we're going to be announcing this new tool and a couple of things we have up under our sleeves as well, such as Metaverse Post quest system. So on the post, people are gonna have a pop-up or like special UI where they can complete different quests. For example, we have different audiences, as we mentioned. Like one guy can read about AI all day long, and he's gonna be accumulating points for reading specifically AI articles. And this mPost quest interface, he's gonna be promoting and leveling up his AI skill. And we know that this guy is interested in AI. We have partners we work with, for example, like Shutterstock or like Writesonic or different AI companies. And we can give this specific audience who is interested in AI suggestions to use different tools. We can partner with the advertisers to promote something to him. We can give him some perks, such as 3 months of a certain tool. Another person is interested in crypto. He reads about crypto. So we're gonna promote his crypto native level, and he's gonna have specific perks and specific rewards just for him. For example, if somebody is really interested in crypto, maybe he needs some subscriptions to analytical tools like Nansen or Delphi or some other guys. Maybe he needs a ledger. Then we can give him a discount for the ledger. Then maybe we can enter him into the raffle, and by the end of the day, after reading mPost for like a couple of months, he can get the free ledger. So that's one of the things we're gonna be heavily using to build the community and keen readership on mPost, and that's one of the things we're gonna be releasing in April. So April is going to be really busy months for us. We're going to be trying to be as, we're going to be bragging a lot, I would say, and just trying to tell the world about mPost and what we have done in just 1 year.
Thank you for sharing this with us already now. And I feel like we're going to keep an eye on this amazing new things happening for you in April. And it's also what you just said now. It just seems like also you make the readers very active, the way how they're going to engage with the media. So that's like absolutely beautiful thing. I also wanted to ask you about the analytics that you present on your website. I was wondering, what is it, where do you take the data from, and how do you write this analytics? Like, what's the process that you have?
It depends. I'd say right now the most analytical and content numbers heavy thing we do is our fundraising report, which is really well received by the market and have been retweeted and reshared by a bunch of medias, including like Cointelegraphs, including like Animoca Brands and guys like that. We use a number of tools. First of all, we use Messari Pro, I would say. We use Crunchbase. We use PitchBook just a little bit, but also we just go through TechCrunch and just scroll all the articles in the fundraising part, and just like, oh, we're gonna find the piece. We go to like VentureBeat, and we try to analyze it. So that's mainly just the researchers' work and their job. And if we talk about, for example, on-chain data, then we used to have this Metaverse dashboard before. We are now taking it down to recreate it. But it was done mainly using Dune, and pretty much free to use tools that anybody can use and anybody can benefit from. So the data in the internet right now, it's a lot of data, right? And you just need the right guys, the right team to analyze it. And we are fortunate to have great writers in the team, and we are fortunate to have partners who use MPost as a platform to post their materials. Like we have Crypto Media Capital, which is a great and oldest partner of us, and one of the founding members of Metaverse Post. They have great research team, and they use Metaverse Post as a platform to post and announce their reports. And they take it from a different way. They analyze the market, they analyze different projects, different ecosystems. They do great comparisons, and they have really top level research on the upcoming ecosystems like Starknet and the different layers. Blockchain like L1s, I think, and L2s that have great potential in the upcoming bull market.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. I mean, as soon as we're colleagues in this sphere with you, I mean, both of us are researching the market in terms of numbers. So we were very curious on your approach towards your investment research and where you take the information from. And right, from the one hand, it's quite easy to find this information. From the other hand, it's not that easy to systemize it, to put it all together, and then to make some kind of what's the English for? Sonia, could you please help me? I mean,
conclusions, analytics, and just
conclusions. Yeah, it's all about conclusions. So as a conclusion, Dennis forgot the word conclusion. Nevertheless, but when you were talking, I'm now referring to Daniel. When you were talking about the use of AI, I just remembered that we have a beautiful AI-based startup in our current batch. It's called Phygital Plus, and it is a non-code SaaS AI tool which any art tech or NFT startup can use, actually, which any startup starting from fintech, gamify, and whatever can use, simply attached to your website, and it's like your pocket chat GPT, actually. And this startup, Phygital Plus, has been already noticed and admired by Microsoft several weeks ago. So we'll be happy to introduce them to you. Probably that they could help making Metaverse Post even more functional and reliable.
Yeah, for sure. I would be happy to talk to them. And that's one of the things about being in media. You always attract people who build on the edge of the technology. For example, the MPost Quest, that's the solution we are not developing ourselves. We are developing it in the partnership with the company called Guide One. And they have great expertise and tons of experience with the identity verification, with gamification of certain things. They built a couple of startups in this field as well. So for us, it's really, for me, I think great success always lies, especially in the crypto, especially in the Web3, in the collaboration. And so we are always happy to help up and coming projects to promote themselves and to spread the word about their findings and their products.
Great. So while mentioning our one of our batch members, we've received the question from the other batch members. So they're asking how startups should pitch to the media. I believe
Yeah.
the reply. Yeah, I believe the reply. I mean, may ask you to reply starting from the cases why and when a startup should pitch to the media, and then explain how they could do that in a better way.
Yeah, even better person would be like an editor to answer this question. But basically, when a startup needs to pitch, when they want the world to know about them, right? If they are developing something in the stealth mode, and they're really afraid that somebody gonna steal their idea, that somebody is gonna poach their employees, or they are really not ready yet, then it's just better to keep building. But when you're getting ready to fundraise, for example, or when you're getting ready to test the market a bit, to find the first couple of users who are going to use your stuff, that's the right time to start pitching the media. And here, how we kind of perceive this process, there are two main like different approaches to this. The first one is when you approach the advertorial and you're like, okay, guys, I'm gonna pay, and that's pretty easy pitch, right? Here's my money, here's the article I need, or like here's the banner ads I need and stuff like that. But if a startup wants free kind of marketing, then their stuff have to be interesting. Like, we are in the media business, and the first thing we want to get, we want to get more readers, and we want to make our current reader base happy and engaged, and we want to cater them the content they like. So if you have something important for the industry, that's great. If you are doing something new, that's also great. But basically, you have to start. The number one advice how to pitch the media, you have to pitch, because a lot of the people they just like, oh, the pitching is so hard. I need to write a perfect email, and then they spend like a week and they send like 5 emails. But by the end of the day, that's a numbers game, like in sales. You just have to pitch. You have to pitch different authors. You have to pitch just the media overall. You can send email to like tips at mpost.io, which is an editorial email. You can send email to info@mpost.io. It's just overall company email, and a lot of different guys are checking it out, like sales, like myself sometimes. You can email, a certain author who writes about your topic, and try to get him interested. But there is another way. You just can approach a PR company, PR agency, and they're gonna do it for you, because that's time consuming. And if you don't have the right resources inside your team, somebody have to spend time, and it's going to be either you, the founder or CEO, and you need to prioritize it. Okay, because if you're going to be spending days and weeks just pitching the media, who is going to be doing the job? And that's a really important trade-off, and just overall you have to build the relationship either with the PR agency or with the authors and with the medias, and they just don't expect that the media are going to be like, oh, that's your first email, we're going to write about it for sure. Just emails, they sometimes go into spam. Somebody, they just can be unnoticed, or sometimes somebody can be like, yeah, that's not really important. But then you pitch the same author or the same editorial team again with new updates. And by doing so, you can show the traction that you are here, that you keep building, and you pitched them, months ago. It was okay. In 1 month, you have great updates. You pitch again, and they're like, "Okay, I'm interested now, but I'm not going to reply." And then you pitch again on the 3rd month, and you have really interesting update now. And now you got the author to reply, and now your story can be picked up. That's like you do fundraising. That's very, I would say, similar thing to do when you talk to investors. Then they're not going to be investing in you just like from the first message. You have to build this relationship, you have to build the traction, you have to show it, and by the end of the day you're going to be picked up.
Thank you, Danil. We would love if you agree to become one of the mentors of Fuel Arts in a while. I mean, when we have a special course and add their mass media relation. So
yeah, that's a possible thing.
Sure. Let's get back to the definition. While talking to you about the metaverse, like the physical world and metaverse and similarities there, I just understood that Metaverse Post, you take part in organizing international physical Web3 events as well. So could you please share with us some of the cases and highlights on that?
Yeah, for sure. Offline events are a huge part of any media business, and actually, for a lot of the media companies, offline events are the best way to get the money, to earn some money, like real hard cash. And we are slowly building our way forward the huge metaverse event, like our flagship event we want to do. I think we're going to be doing it next year. But on this way, we want to create our own small events, and we want to be involved in organization of different ones. And that's kind of funny story, because AM Post was started, as I mentioned, 1 year ago, and the first, like the kickoff day for us was basically NFTLA the last year. Because we have common friends, we have common partners, and we sent a small team of journalists to NFTLA, and our site was live like 1 week, I think, when we went there, and our Twitter have been created just like a couple days in advance of the NFTLA. So we like to participate in offline events, and NFTLA is a great case where we used it to get the first audience, to get the first people to know the Metaverse Post, and get these relationships to different projects, to different authors, to different contributors we can work with going forward. But going back to like the cases, the main case for us right now, I would say, is Seoul Meta Week. It's a conference organized in Korea. They have great experience in running the offline events, a huge and experienced team behind it, and Metaverse Post involved pretty deep, I would say, with this event. First of all, we are doing Seoul Meta Week magazine on the AM Post, where we curate the most interesting articles, and we include them in this issue on the weekly basis. We also try to not influence, but we try to help to build the schedule and the agenda for different events, like for the Seoul Meta Week, like we did with the NFTLA, the first issue. Because we have the connections, it's easy for the media to approach different people. So we actively help for the events to attract different speakers. For example, Seoul Meta Week, they shared with us the list of speakers they want to talk to, and on the top row there is the IBP of Shutterstock, and I'm like, oh, they just bought ads from us like last month. Like let's reach out to them. So it was pretty easy to have this communication established with them and to do the introduction. So that's basically how we help different offline events and how we involve with it. And by doing so, we also able to get some media passes for our journalists, because we help these events to go there and to observe it. We can figure something out with them to let maybe one of the partners go there, and that just to really, as I said, the collaboration is the key. And the Seoul Meta Week, we wanted to be the headline event in Asia, at least in Korea, about metaverse, and they have really good positioning, very similar kind of to us. They are interested in the same topics like AI, metaverse, Web3. So that's a really win-win for us. And we also organized our own events, like we did a VIP party for investors in Austin for the last consensus. We rented like a small rooftop and invited top guests there. Recently in Dubai, together with Cryptomeria Capital, we did an meet investors event where Cryptomeria Capital announced their partnership with Axon Partners, which is a huge old school OG, I can say, fund with like 500 million under the management or something. So we want to build our brand not only in the metaverse but in the offline world as well, just to marry kind of these two worlds.
Yeah, that's real. That sounds really reasonable and true. I mean, we're happy to hear that. I have a small question to Sonia. It seems to me that the logo of Christie's just disappeared from your bottle. Maybe sure it's still there, please.
No, it's still there, and it's quite interesting because I got it in Dubai, and so here it's in English, and here it's actually in Arabic, which I found very peculiar. Yeah, and Dennis was just making jokes already that it's like a product placement that I do without even that. But yeah, apparently it's my favorite bottle from now on.
But
So
it's thank you, Sonia, for clarifying this tricky thing. Yeah, but I believe it's a good point to remind Christie's that they should also use the services, the wide services of the Metaverse Post to help people's even for a much bigger price. Good. Sonia, by the way, it's your turn to ask the question, the pre-final one.
Thank you, Dennis. Yes, Daniel, I actually would love to go back to the hot topic of AI. Because we talked about it today, a lot about it, and I knew that we're going to talk about like ChatGPT and everything. And as I read, ChatGPT, I mean, became kind of viral like this autumn, like around November, as I remember. But it also like kind of developed, and there was a new version like ChatGPT 4 recently announced. So, what do you think about this like new developments, and also how do you think it's actually like the ChatGPT example, how it's going to affect the people?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, while we have been on this call, I got a notification in Slack that OpenAI is going to be releasing the intermediate version of ChatGPT 4.5 in September of October or October of this year. So they're developing like crazy fast. But going back to your question, I would call this ChatGPT viral thing just kind of like an iPhone moment, where the tech have been there when iPhone released. It was not as much as about innovation or like tech advancements, but it was around making it accessible and easy to use for people. So the same thing with ChatGPT. ChatGPT 3 have been around for quite a while, actually, before going public, and nobody have been paying too much attention to it. But as soon as the public and retail experiences have been starting to be available, such as OpenAI ChatGPT, or networks like Stable Diffusion or DALL-E, where people can use them to create pictures. ton of startups popped up. Right, we can talk about Lens.ie, I think, and they didn't do anything new. They just took the existing technology, they put it on the phone, being available to the in the App Store, and they've been getting tons of users. But before the Lens AI, there was a project called Avatar IE.com or something like that, and they've been doing pretty much the same thing, but they've been doing it in the web. It wasn't. They didn't focus on the mobile experience too much, and they've been getting 10 times or maybe 100 times less users because Lens AI just made it accessible. So we're going to be seeing a lot of these kind of things where small startups can make a certain neural network or certain algorithm accessible to a broader public, and just opening kind of the floodgates, like what the Microsoft is doing with Copilot, just implementing basically OpenAI technology into their product suite. What they're doing with the Bing, just basically across the board. So we're going to be seeing a lot of these kind of things, and at the same time, I think the speed of development going to be ever increasing, and the new announcements are going to be popping up more and more. We're going to see different competitors getting into the game. For example, like as I mentioned before, Facebook recently announced that they're going to be changing their focus a bit to the AI, and they already have published the Llama, which is the generative language network as well. And it's just times cheaper to run than the OpenAI and to use it. So a lot of the innovation going to be centered around accessibility and making it cheaper, because right now it's pretty expensive to use all this kind of tools, and to run them on your own. It sometimes can be impossible.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Of course, the AI topic will be the main newsmaker of 2023, but we still remember when you said that you had foreseen the rise of interest towards AI back in, let's say, beginning of fall 2022. So could you please share some more predictions? I mean, as the person who is in the epicenter of the tech in terms of media. So what other technologies besides AI would you define as a transformational and life-changing for our society? Let's take 5-year scope from now.
So in terms of the prediction, that wasn't me who predicted it. We have the person on our team. His name is Damir, and he's a huge proponent of this thing called like predictive SEO, where you try to predict what's going to be hot in the next week or next month, and we're going to be writing about it. So we just got kind of lucky a bit, I would say, but we tried a lot of different topics. But going to your question, what are kind of the top 5 things I anticipate in the AI market? Or
sorry, no, I mean not top 5, like the 5 referred to the years, like 5 years from now. So in the next 5 years, what other technologies could you define as life-changing ones besides AI?
Okay, yeah. So I'm a huge fan of VR, and I have glasses. And for me to use the current edition of like Quest 2, for example, it's just a pain. And we tried to use it for like corporate meetings and the company meetings, and just tough. There's so much friction. You need to put it on your head. It's heavy. You sweat all the time. Then you need to take it off. Then when you actually try to use it for anything besides just gaming, for example, to work, on some document. The words are all blurry because the DPI is not the where it needs to be yet, and you're gonna have a huge headache if you're gonna try to write an article using VR headset. But recently I've seen HTC Vive XR, and I really hope I'm gonna have my hands on it pretty soon. So they have the diopters inside, and you can ditch the glasses and just set it up for your prescription. And it's much more lightweight. It's much more transportable and compact. So I hope, and I think we're gonna see the same like iPhone moment in in VR field and AR field, or like XR field, where it's going to be really easy and frictionless to use this kind of things. And that's one of the things we are getting ready at AM Post as well. For example, we are creating our own metaverse space right now to invite people to just hang out in the thing. I would say honestly, right now it's kind of just a fun thing to do, and you just can write about it. But it's really tough to get lots of people in there, and it's even harder to get them on the consistent basis. And if we talk about VR, there is like kind of a chicken and egg problem where we don't really have enough of content to keep people coming back. But at the same time, we don't have enough users for developers to be really motivated to develop this content and for creators to create this content. So we have to see this tipping point, and I hope we're going to see it. So VR is a huge thing, and I hope it's going to be fun, and we can have this kind of level of conversation in VR without headache. After like 40 minutes or so. And another thing, I hope that the crypto, like blockchain, will kind of go through this turbulence and gonna be more widely accepted by the general public, and gonna have, because just like for me, it's just a pain to manage international worldwide company and to pay people in different parts of the world without crypto. And when I used to work in DeFi projects, I had at some point like around 50 employees in Africa in different countries. And for me, if I would pay them using like what can you use, Swift, or like MoneyGraph, or like what kind of thing I can use to pay on a consistent basis every month to 50 different individuals in Africa money, I'm gonna be broke on fees, right? But I used to use the T on Tether, and it was cheap. It was cheap and convenient and lightning fast. So I hope as we progress in this VR metaverse world, and we're gonna be more ever connected, then the payment rail is gonna catch up, and more banks gonna use crypto or blockchain. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I just hope I'm gonna be able to pay to my friend on the other part of the world, just without the hassle and without the headache, because we talk to him on a daily basis. But now we just need the means of the value exchange, not only the information exchange. And that's where I bet on Web3 and the value exchange online.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, for all these insights. And I think it's been a very interesting webinar where we covered like so many different topics. And obviously we covered AI, ChatGPT. We talked so much about Metaverse Post, and we got all the insights, and our audience got the insights, what to expect if they're not familiar with the media. So thank you so much for today, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, and thank you. I mean,
Sure, it was a pleasure.
Among the 50 plus webinars we've held so far, that was the first one focused on the mass media as it is. I mean, and it's work. I mean, mass media in Web3, and we're happy we started with Metaverse Post. So wishing you success, and hope to continue our cooperation during both virtual and physical events, or online and offline.
Yeah, likewise. I'm gonna be really happy to pop on your demo day and check what you have prepared for us.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See you.
See you